Welcome to all my bubbles. This is the third soap in my My Little Pony collection called Crispy Apples. It is inspired by Applejack, so it's going to be a nice vibrantly coloured warm sunshiny soap. So as usual, I'm mixing my lye solution here with my oils. This is a really big batch. I actually decided I'd make 3 soaps all at once with this one particular batch. So in the background you're going to see some colours in those little pots that don't necessarily match this soap. They are for a different soap that I made a little bit later on. So obviously here you can see me splitting off just the amount of oils and the soap batter, more to the point, for just the Applejack soap. So I put a little bit too much in the first one, put it off into the second, and I'm just doing the actual base soap at the moment. So the frosting comes a little bit later on. At this point, this is where I'm measuring out my lovely fragrance oils. The one that I used in this one is called Crispy Apple, and it is from Aussie Soap Supplies. It's not the most apple scent that I've ever smelled, but it does smell like Granny Smith's more than anything. Obviously decided there that the orange and yellow that I put in was not going to be quite enough, and dumped a little bit of extra orange mica into the second one to make sure it was nice and bright and vibrant. I'm really happy with how the colours came out on this soap. It is exactly what I was wanting. A little bit disappointed with the frosting red, but you'll see that a little bit later on. So my fragrance oils I generally don't put in my frosting because I want to make sure I can control the speed of that. But I've put both the pots there have the fragrance oil in them. Now what I'm doing here, I know it probably looks a bit funny to have mixed them in those 2 separate pots and now be popping them all back into the one bucket. This is what we call an in the pot swirl. So I really love doing this. It creates the most beautiful patterns when you pour your soap, and you'll see that it's got lovely feathery lines all through it. So it really swirls those colours together beautifully while magically keeping them both quite separate, which is fantastic. My soap did move a little faster than expected, purely and simply because I think I was soaping a little colder than what I had expected to be soaping. So what I mean by that is the oils were at quite a low temperature when I put all the lye solution in. Unfortunately, this part of the video is a little bit blurry. I changed my battery halfway through filming and forgot to refocus my camera. So this is a mixture of true red mica and a little bit of red wine mica. And the other pot there, the pink one with the blue whizzer in it, is all gold opulence and Wellington mica. So a mix of those 2 together to get the lovely sunshiny yellow for the frosting on the top. I only needed a very small amount of red, and I knew that red was going to go everywhere, so I just mixed that all up in a little tiny corn cup there. That little spoon you can see that's got some arms on the side, that's a little cat spoon that my mum gave me, knowing that I'm a crazy cat lady and that would definitely appeal to me, and I love that little spoon. I use it a lot. So just like last time, I'm dumping my soap batter out onto some Glad wrap so that I can control where the different colours are going to be sitting. And I didn't lose my piping footage this time. I've got it right here. So you'll see a little bit, my hands were kind of in the way, but yeah, this was me just flopping it on top there. I did have some other plans, but it didn't quite look the way I was expecting, so I just kind of went with it and flipped the mica on, or flipped the soap butter on top, and I'm actually super happy with how it came out. Sometimes there's, well, just like Bob Ross said, happy accidents. So yeah, it ended up looking really fantastic. what I'm just popping on there is a little bit of gold dust mica because I wanted a little bit of extra shimmer on top, and then going all out with the red glitter and the gold glitter, of course, because it's My Little Pony. You just can't have enough sparkle and shine for My Little Pony. Now, I know normally I speed my video up a little bit more than this, but I wanted you to be able to see a little bit more what I was doing, although with the video being so blurry, I don't think you can really see a hell of a lot anyway. In just a moment, I do pick up the soap and it will come into focus so that you can actually see the top of the soap quite nicely. So this one absolutely shimmers so much. I probably put just a fraction too much glitter on there, to be honest, but you know what? There's never such a thing as too much glitter as far as I'm concerned. So here we are the next day, and this is the soap getting cut, and you can see there as I'm cutting them and picking them up, those really gorgeous swirls all through the soap. So it ended up looking absolutely fabulous. I'm so happy with it. I'm not happy with the camera not focusing, but definitely happy with the soap. Between each of my cuts, what you'll see is I pull the knife off to the side and I'm pulling off as much of that excess soap as I can to get as clean a cut as I possibly can. The last thing I want is to be dragging extra soap across the blocks and messing it all up, which I almost just did there. So I just went ahead and continued to cut the rest of the block. And then what you'll see now is that I've got some little stamps that Rod made for me. And I'm just stamping in the corner of this soap so that you can see 3 little apples on the corner. This is pretty close to the cutie mark that Applejack has. Quite annoyingly, it actually pushed out the corner of my soap, but I adjusted that a little bit later on as I was going and ended up with something that I'm really super happy with. That blue spray bottle there, that is just some isopropyl alcohol, and you just spray it on top of the soap to make it a nice clean stamp. And yeah, it just brings the colours out a little bit. You'll see me in just a moment. I sprayed all over the top of all of the soaps. Should have done that before the soap was setting because it prevents something called soda ash, which is where you get a little bit of a white haze across the top of your soap and it just makes it look really dull. Thankfully, this one with such a bright and huge amount of glitter on top ended up staying really lovely and bright anyway. And you can see the lovely little swirls of red through the piping on top. I'm really super excited with how this one came out. Even though the scent is not 100% what I was expecting, I'm actually still really happy with it. It's a very sort of sweet candied apple scent more than an apple pie sort of scent, which is what I was expecting. And here, in just a second, is the final soap. There we go. As you can see, really gorgeous effect on this one. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Hope you have a great day.